Oh, hello. This vlog did not go the way I kind of thought it would. Also, you may see Marple coming in and out since I got back from my trip. She has been uber clingy, which is just lovely. It didn't go the way I thought it was gonna go because I was anticipating like, oh, you know, I'm gonna vlog, I'll tell you guys what I'm reading, how that's going, I'll show you some sites, whatever. Well, spoiler alert, it turns out that I was too tired to read for the most part. I did make some progress on some books, and then I also get motion sickness now when I read on transit, which was kind of where I was primarily planning on reading. So because of that, I still wanted to do some vlogging with the footage I got. So I thought what we could do is I did pick up 4 books while I was in Wales, Scotland, England. I did get 4 books, so I think what I'm gonna do is I am going to, instead of having sort of like vlogging footage of me reading or playing with the kitties or whatever, I'm gonna make my travel footage the kind of in-between vlogging, and then interspersed will be reviews of the 4 books that I picked up. These were these were very random things to have picked up, but you'll see kind of how that came to be as the vlog progresses. If you don't like vlogging that's not directly related to reading, you ain't gonna like this. I don't know, I get such conflicting opinions. It always makes me laugh too, because people will be like, nobody cares about X. And I'm like, literally just look down one comment and you will see people being like, I love that. So anyway, I know some people are just not gonna like the concept of this, but this is how I've decided to use that footage. So I hope you guys enjoy seeing me on vacation, as well as reading these books, which I guess I should tell you what they are. I picked up The Dark by Emma Houghton because it said 1 dead body, 12 suspects, 24-hour darkness. This sounds like exactly my kind of thriller. I picked up EMBASSYTOWN by China Miéville because I've always meant to read something from China Miéville, and you'll see why this ended up kind of just being what I picked up. I also picked up my first Neil Gaiman, which is The Ocean at the End of the Lane, because if I don't like it, I'll just send it to Leanna, since this is like one of her all-time favorite books. And then The WILDCATS of EXETER by Edward Marston, which is a historical mystery. So we've got some fantasy, we've got some speculativeness, we got some thrillerness. So those are the books I'm gonna read and review, and enjoy the vlogging, enjoy some random reviews. Hope you guys like this random ass video. Okay, I am finally here. I am exhausted. So, the trip, I think, considering how much drama there's been with air travel recently, just across the board, I think that, I don't know that they expected everybody to start traveling again so fully. So it seems like there's just staffing issues across the board, but I think that things went just about as smoothly as they could have. I decided to carry on everything, so that has been a little bit troublesome, but I'm going to check a bag going back. So I think the return will be a little less clumsy when I don't need to worry as much about like having everything immediately. So that went okay. Customs took no time. It took me, I think, 8 minutes to get through customs. So I was concerned that that might be a problem, and it was not. The train, I'm going to say that in retrospect, the choice to do all of my train travel immediately was probably a mistake. Like, I think if I was doing this over again, I probably would have stayed the night in London and then done the travel the next day. However, there is a rail strike happening tomorrow on the day that I theoretically should have traveled, which would have been even worse. So I guess it all just worked out, but struggling with my autoimmune stuff. I was not anticipating how sensitive my stomach now is with some of the medications I'm on. So I have been near to spewing. Is that maybe like a somewhat less rude word to use? For nearly 24 hours now. I am so nauseous. And unfortunately, I'm gonna sleep on it, but I think that I should not. I had planned to do an excursion day with this tour company that my family really enjoys using. Like, we've used them literally all over the world, and they always have great like little day outings. But I just don't think I'm setting myself up for success to have a full day being in vehicles again when my stomach is already so sensitive. So I think tomorrow I'm actually going to end up taking it easy and just like kicking it around Llandudno. And I don't think that's a hardship because it's absolutely lovely and adorable, and it looks like there's lots of like little shops, and yeah, it seems like it would be lovely even just to go down and sit on the beach and like read would be really nice. So I'm a little sad because I don't know that I'll make it to this part of the world again, but you know, sometimes you just gotta kind of roll with the punches. So that's what I'm kind of thinking for tomorrow. I definitely need to eat, I need to shower, and I need to stay up enough so that I can get on this time, but then I'm going to sleep early and hard, and it will be lovely. Oh, I also was going to say I didn't get any reading done because of that nausea issue I was having. I could kind of dissociate and just like stare at a TikTok, but trying to read was just like not going to happen, which I'm not used to. I'm used to being able to, you know, read to my little heart's content whenever I'm traveling. So yeah, we'll have to think for the ride back. Perhaps I'm going to have to, well, I don't know. We'll see. I'm hoping that maybe if I can like get some sleep and kind of calm down, maybe my stomach will cooperate a little bit, and maybe I can start actually doing some of what I was hoping to do in transit, which is read. But if not, you know, I had a lovely time looking at all the different views that I got to see. I've never been to Wales, and it was just as like verdant and lush and filled with sheep as I had been led to understand. But I really enjoyed seeing like the coastline. It's very atmospheric and lovely. So I do have my fan, because the other lovely side effect that I forgot from my meds is that I'm extra heat sensitive. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I had to get off the underground twice because I thought I was about to hurl. I'm gonna eat some dinner. I'm watching some British home shopping TV. I love home shopping networks, period, but there is something about the British ones that I particularly love. When I studied abroad, we would day drink and then just put the home shopping channel on and listen to them try to sell us things. So I made it, thank God. Okay, checking in with the first book that I've read from my haul, The WILDCATS of EXETER by Edward Marston. I say that I've read this, but I've actually DNF'd it because I just was not connecting with this at all. So this is a historical mystery set in medieval England. And I wonder, this is, I think, let's see, the 8th book in this series. So maybe if I'd read earlier ones, I'd be more into this. But I am decidedly not into this even a little bit because, I don't know, I'm not connecting with any of the characters. I don't care about the mystery. And I think that this just got off on a bad foot with me because the opening chapter is this dude trying to like brush off his mistress. And the way that this woman is written, it just was very men writing women Twitter. I was expecting something about like her breast boobily bounce down my eyes could not be rolling harder, and like this was egregiously bad. I don't know, maybe I just wasn't in the right mood, but for whatever reason, and I've just not been able to get my mojo with it, and I'm like 70 pages in to a 300-ish page book. It only cost £1, and I think I'm just gonna DNF it. So this is not a mystery series for me. I'd never heard of this before, but you know, I guess I'm kind of regretting the fact that I hauled this thing around for a week and a half. But we're just gonna cut our losses and move on from this one because this was not good. I did not enjoy this. DNFing. Okay, check the fit. Yesterday, I got caught out in the rain with an umbrella but without my rain jacket, which was a rookie mistake. Come to the British Isles and there is any chance of rain in the forecast, wear your raincoat because it just comes like out of nowhere. It just arrives. So that was my bad for acting brand new. Okay, so yesterday was a good day. It was a recovery day around town. I had some lunch, got caught in the rain, as I said, went on the beach, but didn't really get to read down there because of the rain coming in and out. Saw some bookstores, including a Waterstones, but also a different bookstore that I think I may try to go hit up today. Bess gets here. My best friend arrives today. She flew into Dublin, is taking the ferry to Holyhead, is then taking a train here. I am very, very much enjoying the hotel I ate in last night just because, I don't know, I was by myself and I didn't feel like wandering around. And I will say, staying in this kind of old-fashioned hotel, which I'm very much enjoying, is definitely giving me some Christie insight. Like, I've never stayed in a resort, like a British resort town before. I visited Brighton, which I think you guys saw a couple years ago, but I've never, I'm trying to think, I've been to a few coastal cities, but I've never really like stayed in one. It's more been like a day trip kind of thing. And staying in this like old-fashioned resort hotel, like in the characters who are here and listening to them interact over dinner, I was like, I do feel like I am picturing certain things from, for instance, like Evil Under the Sun a little bit better. Before Bess gets here, I'm gonna go get some breakfast. I'm excited to see her. Hopefully she survives in one piece. She gets motion sickness and she's coming over on the ferry in what I'm guessing are pretty rough waters because looking at the outside, it looks like it's a tumultuous day. So good luck, Bess, and let me go get some food. Look who showed up. Hi, Bess. Hi. How are you feeling after?
I'm so sleepy.
I know.
I've been up for, oh my God, I've been up for so long.
For a very long time.
I don't think I can calculate it.
4 p.m. yesterday. Would have been 10 p.m. last night our time, so, and then you were awake for however long before that. Mm-hmm. But hopefully the brisk sea air will help you stay awake till dinner. Okay, so we are settled in here in Glasgow. Pretty uneventful journey, which is great. This is what we love. No drama. It took us about 5 hours to take all the trains from Llandudno to Glasgow, and then we are staying in central Glasgow. So far it seems like a pretty nice place. Yeah, we're surrounded by some lovely buildings. I'm definitely learning my limits in terms of fatigue management. I think basically the bottom line I've realized is that I am very susceptible to heat. The moments where I have like all of my baggage with me, not emotional, physical baggage, and then I'm having to walk are like the parts that are difficult. But other than that, I feel like stamina is pretty good. Tomorrow is my last, or like when me and Bess are together, is the last sort of like really full day, because I feel like pretty much the rest of the time we have a lot of control over how much we are or aren't doing. So tomorrow we are going to Stirling Castle, Loch Lomond, and I think like just some like idyllic village situations. None of it should be too far away. Both of us do have motion sickness, so say a prayer for us in the van. I think that's about where we're at. I've not gotten any reading done because I am too tired to read. So that has been a very different sort of vacation experience for me. But I did buy a book while we were in Llandudno because it was 3 books for £6. So we both me and Bess got a mystery, like a historical mystery. So I do have 1 physical book with me now. I'll hopefully have some footage for you guys when I'm in Stirling, etc. Okay, book number 2 down, The Ocean at the End of the Lane by Neil Gaiman. This was my first Neil Gaiman, and I am happy to report that it was a successful outing. I love the writing in this. So, story-wise, what can I tell you? It's not a super long book, so I don't want to tell you too much. Basically, this guy has gone home for a funeral, and after the funeral, he is driving by his childhood home, and he happens upon a house, so like a farm at the end of the road that his childhood home was on. And when he gets there, there's this old woman, and he kind of has this memory resurge for him, his childhood, where he was friends with the girl who lived in this house named Letty. I feel like I shouldn't tell you more than that, because you should just find out the story, what Letty's deal is, basically. This is just beautifully written. It's not that it's like super lyrical, but it's just that really well observed writing. And I feel like this captured the kind of, I don't even know what the right word, like what noun I'm looking for here is, but basically just memory, the feeling of memories resurfacing, especially like childhood or sort of like long ago memory resurfacing. I just felt like it captured that quality really beautifully. I felt like it had really interesting and insightful themes around childhood and sort of what it's like to be a child and not be in control of your life in meaningful ways. And there's a speculative element in here that I also really liked, kind of how that was incorporated. So yeah, I don't know that this emotionally connected with me enough for me to call it a 4.5 or a 5. This is very solidly a 4-star. You know, I feel similarly about this, I think, to how I felt about Piranesi earlier this year, which is like, I really admire this and enjoyed it, but I didn't have that certain X factor that made me just love it. But I think if you liked Piranesi, I don't know. Something about the vibes of this, I feel like, kind of remind me of that in some ways. I don't know. Anyway, definitely a success, definitely much more successful than that not good mystery. We'll just call it a not good mystery. So, second book down. Okay, we just finished watching The Devil Wears Prada, and it was a revelation to at least me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay, so if she had been working, we're basically my aha moment, which Bess set me up for, is that no one in Andy's life is being supportive of her in The Devil Wears Prada, and that if somebody treated me like this in my career, when I'm fresh out of college trying to hustle and like make my way in a job, that is horrible. So you were saying, Bess, that you think even after 2 years you would check in with Andy and say like, hey, are you sure you still...
Yeah, well, at first I said 5, and then, gosh, to offer some credence to the film, I would say even after 2 years, if you've worked this terrible job where you've been hustling your ass off for low pay, long hours, no respect, and you're neglecting all your social relationships, and you're no closer to your goals than when you started,
Yeah.
then sure, that's worth a conversation with Andy from her loved ones to say like, hey, why are you doing this?
Yeah.
You know, like what's the goal here? Is this really what you want to do?
Yeah.
You really want to give your kind of prime years of your 20s working for this woman
In such an intense way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But after
Not even a year.
Not even a year?
Not even a year. And you are fresh out of college.
Oh.
Working in New York City, working for the head of one of the only viable magazines left in the world.
And all you have to do is work for her for 12 months and you will have
all
the
kinds of
career that you
connections.
want?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Everyone in her life is a monster. It turns out that literally the only person who can be happy for her and her choices is Miranda by the end of the movie. Like, literally the only person who's happy for her by the end of the movie is Miranda. And she's
exactly
stuck
right.
supporting everyone else in their dreams, and no one is supporting her in hers. I am #outraged.
#patriarchy.
#patriarchy. #let women do what they want to do. Also, the dude in this movie, the creeper who's like preying on her when she's drunk, is not good looking enough to do the things that he does. I mean, you shouldn't be a predator, I'm not saying that, but like, the level to which he's like, trying to horn in on her when she's got a boyfriend, like, he is not good looking enough for that. He looks like a crusted out Logan Huntsberger.
Okay.
Rach.
Okay, thanks, bye.
Okay, so I tried to record a wrap up or a thought on Embassytown yesterday, and I just felt like I was kind of an incoherent mess. Basically, I am struggling to express my feelings about this because I'm torn between my enjoyment factor and what I can appreciate about this book as art or as literature. It is not enjoyable to me. So if I was going to just purely tell you, did I enjoy this, I would give it like a 2. But in terms of what I think it's trying to do and kind of the project of the book, it feels more like a 4 star. So I think I'm landing on like a 3. How to even describe this? Basically, our main character, Avis, grew up in this town of humans on, I think it's called Eureka, which is this place that is run by these aliens who are referred to as the hosts, and the hosts' whole society is built around language. So really, this entire book is a sci-fi exploration of linguistics, and I think if I had been in the right mindset, possibly that could have been more interesting to me, because I do think that this is mostly well done. I think the dialogue is a little cringe, but most of the writing I think is really nice, and I think as an idea book about language, interesting. But that's not really what I was wanting. I was wanting like a sci-fi, I don't know, like just more entertainment, I guess. And I felt like the entertainment in this was low on the ground. This has some interesting things, I think, particularly with Avis. She's become sort of this living metaphor in the host's language, and I think that's interesting. I don't know. There's a little blurb on the back that I was like, yes, this is a great summation to see if you would like this. It says, this is a serious, thought-provoking, idea-driven novel. It is also playful, politically acute, complex, stylish, and the next best fictional take on linguistics since Ian Watson's Embedding. I don't know about Ian Watson's Embedding, but yes, this feels like a linguistic sci-fi literary exploration, and if those things sound interesting to you, I think you would like this. That just was not what I thought I was getting, and therefore I leave this feeling pretty disappointed. So I don't know. I'm gonna call this a 3 star. I'm not closed off to trying something else from China Mieville because there were things about this I liked. I didn't DNF it, so that tells you something. I just don't think, you can see I'm still very conflicted about this book. I don't totally know how to feel. I do think basically what this makes me, the book that it most reminded me of was A Memory Called Empire, but like a less entertaining, well done version of that because I really liked A Memory Called Empire. I thought it had a lot to say while still being entertaining. And this I felt like did have a lot to say, but did not deliver on the entertainment factor. So I don't know. I think that there are definitely people who would like this better than me. Actually, I'm gonna recommend this to Bethany because I could see this being a book she really liked. But anyway, confliction all around, but ultimately let's just give this 3 stars and move swiftly onwards before I just continue to feel confused and guilty about not liking it as much as I feel like I should have.
All
right, so we are at the end of my birthday day. I have just taken a shower, settling in with some more champagne, and it was just a wonderful, lovely day. So I slept in and woke up and had some treats that my mom had sent to me, which was very sweet. She also got me some champagne and some flowers, so mom like whoa, killing it for the birthday. And then I went and had breakfast/tea with Bess and Jess and her husband, and it was absolutely just so fun to get to see them in person and confirm that Jess is as amazing as you think she is IRL. So we had a lovely long breakfast, came back here and watched some more Midsummer Murders. Eventually me and Bess went to high tea, which was the main thing I wanted to do on my birthday, was to go to a very posh high tea, which we had here at the Claremont, and it was absolutely lovely. And then we kind of just came up and relaxed and had a good heart-to-heart, and went and had a little bit of, you know, toasties and fish and chips action at the pub downstairs. Now I'm showered. I should show you guys this. In Llandudno, when I was getting some sunscreen, I saw that they had the Inky List in person, which we do not have in the US. We only have it online at Sephora, at least to my knowledge. And I had a breakout from the flight, so I picked up this blemish night treatment and it cleared it all up. And then when I stopped using it a couple of days ago, I had a new, is that it? Yeah, a new one crop up. So I used it again tonight, and we'll see if it resolves it, but I am so far very impressed with this and will rebuy back home. But yeah, so tomorrow I leave. I have breakfast planned with Bess and her partner when he gets here. So I'll get to see him for one meal and then I'll tap out and go to Heathrow, and it should be pretty chill. I have bought I've not really bought much of anything this trip. It's just not been that kind of trip. I was expecting to try to do some book shopping, and we kept just not being that near the bookstores that looked interesting to me, so I just kept not doing it. But what that means, and because most places have taken card, I actually have quite a bit of cash left. I've got 65 pounds. I always take 100 pounds out when I get here and then use that to just sort of pay for onesie-twosie things. And I may need to pay for a taxi tomorrow to get me to Paddington. But after that, I think the rest of it I will have. And my rule always is whatever I have left over when I get to the airport, I go to the airport bookstore and I just buy whatever looks interesting. So should be able to do that. So there we go. My trip is just about done. I am so excited to be heading home to my kitty cats. I've missed them so much. And it should be, hopefully, fingers crossed, a pretty chill day of travel since it's a direct flight. And maybe if my tummy cooperates, I might get to do some reading. So fingers crossed for that. And yeah, I guess I'm gonna go to bed so that I'll be ready to go home in the morning. Okay, so I'm back, and by the time, I don't know how this is all gonna end up getting cut together, but FYI, I told you guys that I was going to buy books in the airport with the money that I have left over. Well, it ended up I don't know, it was a mess. I went to the wrong place for the bookstore, like I couldn't find it. And then by the time I found it, I literally was like, okay, I have 7 minutes to try to buy some books because otherwise I'm gonna miss the plane. So I literally just like tore through there and picked up 3 books. I still have some cash left. It's fine, I'll just save that for the next time I'm in the UK. Be some little seed money for me. I picked up The Dark because literally I just saw the cover was an isolated house and the tagline was 1 dead body, 12 suspects, 24 hours of darkness. So this seems like a thriller that I would probably like. It looks like she's going to be on a UN research station in Alaska. Who knows? Okay, I'm guessing that this is going to be some kind of like isolation thriller, and that is usually something I really enjoy. Then I picked up 2 books from authors that I've always meant to try, and again, I was just sort of like in a fever dream, and I was like, okay, fine, that sounds good. So I picked up EMBASSYTOWN by China Miéville because I've never read anything from China Miéville and have always meant to. So it seems like there's some sort of like political thrillerness. There's definitely, this is like a sci-fi, I think, basically. So I have always meant to read China Miéville, so I saw this. I was like, well, this is a cool looking cover I've not seen in the US, so why not? Now is the time. Similarly, The Ocean at the End of the Lane by Neil Gaiman. I have always been meaning to try Neil Gaiman. He's one of those authors like I've not read and feel like I should have. And this is Leanna's favorite, and I think Bethany also really liked this one. So this is going to be my first Neil Gaiman. They also had a copy of American Gods, and I was kind of between them, but I was like, you know what? This is shorter. Let's like dip our toes in. So those 3 books that I just like frantically picked up in 7 minutes in the W.H. Smith of the north side of Terminal 5 in Heathrow. So yeah, these are the other things that I picked up. So in total, I picked up 4 books. And I think by the time you are seeing this footage, we should be at the end of the vlog because this was the end of the trip. But I don't know how I feel about any of these books yet because I haven't read them. So I'm assuming I'll probably cut this so that by the time this goes in, I've read all but one of them. So the next clip should be me reviewing the last one and then talking about all 4 of them. What a weird, okay, the timing of this vlog is truly wild. Editing Mara, have fun trying to make all of this work. Okay, so to bring this full circle, last book to talk about, The Dark by Emma Houghton, however you say her name. This was fine. This was good. This was entertaining. Our setup here is that we've got this doctor who is going to be the doctor at the winter crew station in Antarctica, and she has a tragic backstory, as thriller protagonists are often want to have, and she's replacing a doctor who died. She becomes convinced that that person was killed, like murdered, and that there's a murderer amongst them. Things ensue from there. I think so I like the claustrophobia of this, I should say. The setting in Antarctica in the winter, like very atmospheric, very claustrophobic. This is a vibe I like in a thriller. I liked the conclusion of the mystery. Like I liked the way the actual story ended up unfolding. I liked a lot of the characters fine. I just think, I don't know, because our main character had a tragic backstory and because she has like this pill addiction situation that she's very invested, like, I don't know, I feel like I'm being maybe ableist or like prejudiced against people who have addiction issues. It just seemed like her addiction was her whole personality and her tragic backstory was her whole personality. So I don't know. I mean, I thought at the end of the story, she was kind of like getting her act together a little bit more. I don't know. It just felt sort of like a PI and a noir, like the same reasons that I don't love that as a main character in terms of like archetypes. It felt kind of similar. So I just struggled with our point of view character, basically. But the story itself and the atmosphere, I think, was really good. So I would give this like 3 to 3.5. And this definitely did what I want this kind of book to do, which is like entertain me. It was a good way to pass the last couple of evenings. I will not remember this in a year, but hey, it wasn't on my radar and it was perfectly entertaining, though not, I should say, as entertaining as Midsummer Murders, which ever since I got back, I have been obsessed with. It reignited my love and passion for Midsummer Murders. So I am on like season 8 now, and I've discovered they're all on YouTube. You know, pro tip there for those of you in the US, we have a lot of Midsummer Murders on YouTube. Okay, so in terms of wrapping up the books, let's put them in order. I would say this is my order because I DNF'd this one. This was bad. I'm glad that I finally read China Miéville. Like, I'm glad this pushed me to do that because he is an author who's always sort of been on my list of authors that I should read. I have a nonfiction book from him that I'm even more excited, honestly, to read because if the quality of his prose is this high, I'm assuming that that book is going to be even more interesting. So I didn't necessarily enjoy this and it wasn't like what I was really wanting from the book. but I can appreciate it even if I didn't have a great time. So 3 stars feels right. Then we have The Dark, which we were just talking about. Entertaining, not that memorable, but if you see this in your library or your local bookshop and it sounds like fun to you, if you like that kind of setting, an isolation thriller, I think that you'll have a perfectly good time in this. I know I did. And then I would say definitely best book was The Ocean at the End of the Lane by Neil Gaiman. This definitely was a great first outing with Gaiman. I popped my Gaiman cherry. Yeah, I will definitely be happy to read more from him, and I'm glad that my mad dash in the bookstore right before I needed to board my flight pushed me to finally read him. So we'll call this the triumph of this particular vlog, and I hope you guys enjoyed a slightly different format from me on a vlog. I am trying to edit this together right now and it's not going great, so I hope whatever end product we have works. But definitely let me know what you thought of any of the books that I talked about. If you've been any of the places we looked at, let me know below. And yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. So if you did, please like, subscribe, follow me on the social medias if you're so inclined. I have all that information listed in the description box below, and I think that that will do it. I hope you're having an absolutely lovely day today, and I will just talk to you soon. Bye!